Well, I reckon they're looking pretty happy. We thought we've got an hour to spare in this insane schedule that we're running. Pop in here and see how our splits are getting on that we did, I think this not quite a month ago, but I don't know, I lose track, there's been so much going on. So I'll pop my bee suit on and we'll just have a bit of a look in the top of the box. So come over and check this out. At least this dried out because we put it in there this morning. My little carry-all pot, because it was raining last night, so my hessian was wet. We had one little bit of hessian burning in the bottom there. Yeah, she's all beautiful, look at that. Just nice, its own little, oh shit, it's getting excited. Poke it in there and put its little lid on. You just stay there and be good. I think I've shown my fire stick. It says it's a hot devil. I guess that's just a play on words. I suppose that's where it's pretty hot down where they are. Apparently, I don't know. Anyway, let's not get into all that crazy conversation. Oh, I reckon a hive tool might come in very handy too. What have we got here? Hello, chickie babes, what's going on? I'm hoping you've had a nice couple of weeks. Let's see if you've got any weight on. Not too heavy. That one's got a bit going on. Whew. Oh, what are we doing, ladies? Shall we poke our head in that one? That one there's pretty hectic. We'll just poke our head in this one. Hello, what's going on, everybody? Let's have a look-see. What you doing, chicks? Oop. Oh, now here's an interesting little bit of a memo that I don't know if anybody out there has had a good run with these jolly plastic frames. Me, I have a bit of a struggle. Especially if you get your whole super just full of plastic frames. There seems to be like a wall. They just get there and they go, wow, I don't like the smell of them bloody things. So what I've started to do is I've got a little bit of a mix and match program going on. This one's a good example because I put 2 older frames up into the super, which the girls are coming up to work on. And then my plan is that they'll start building on the plastic as well. And that seems to work because I've had a bit of, I don't know, I've had a real challenge getting them to work just if it's a whole wall of plastic frames. I think once they've been in there a while, I've got some hives that they've had plastic frames and they've all been getting used and they're cool, they don't care. But if you're having trouble getting them up into the super, consider putting some old frames from your brood box up in the super, or even some wooden frames and plastic frames as a mixture. That's what I've decided to do. Let's have a look if they're building on this frame and then it would be a bust if they aren't. All right, and we'll just pop this one out the way. They're not real busy up here because they're only just early days for them. What are you doing down there, ladies? But you can see how they're starting to, well, they only just got here because we're very early. They're just starting to build out onto these frames. But they've got the old frames here that they're filling up with nectar. Seems to work. Anyway, that's my plan. It seems to work a lot better than just one big block. We'll find one on here a bit further that's a bit more blooming advanced than these ladies. We'll pop this girl back together. We'll have a look in the busy box over there and see whether they've got anything going on. The thing to remember when you make a split, you're obviously going to halve, or at least take away a percentage of the workforce in the original box, and then the girls in the new box have to catch up to speed. So you can't expect to just like suddenly double your honey production just because you've got double the beehives. As a matter of fact, you'll get less honey to get more bees because there's only so many things they can do at one time. So don't get disappointed if you've made a heap of splits and then you haven't got any more honey flow, because you'll probably get less honey. But if you want to expand, those are the decisions you need to make. Poke her head in there, shall we? They look like they're pretty hectic. So we're just going to poke her head in here. They got a bit more weight on, so we might be able to show you what I was trying to say. That's if they're not too cranky. Just lift that up a bit. These girls seem to still be a little bit toey. I'm going to make a liar out of me. I've got no plastic ones in this one. They're definitely getting excited. Struth, that's got some weight in that lid. Have you taken anything out of there, girls? Nope, we're still all full of honey. What are we doing, girls? Just have a look what you've got up to, shall we? It's all very interesting, the whole population balance business. You've just got to get the right amount of ladies working, and the right amount of nectar flow, and the right amount of everything So there's not too many bees and there's not too little amount of bees. And then you can start getting some nectar to come in, like this little frame here. And I love the way they actually are very practical and they just keep building from the outside in. I mean, I don't think they're really going, they're not rocking off their chops, but they're not doing too bad. Right, yeah, just a little bit cranky. But they're still getting a little bit of something, nothing too high-tech, because it's been through the bit of a cycle. We haven't moved them, so we're just leaving them here. Just some new tea trees and bits and pieces are starting to flower again. So hopefully there'll be enough so they can get built up. That's the plan anyway. Now I think I'm going to be a slap pillock and I'm going to have a look at just how the laying pattern's going on one of the boxes that hasn't got a super on their top. That'll just save my muscles. Otherwise, we can just go right next door and we'll have a look in there and see how she's laying. Because these are the splits at the front row here. I don't even know what episode it was, but not too many episodes ago we came here and we actually split these off. So we've got all the bees that are facing this way have got new queens, and all the bees that are going out that way are the old bees, or the old queens. So we're just having a bit of a peekaboo and to see how the new queen's laying pattern's getting on. So far we haven't got stung yet, so that's a good start. We'll just give these girls a little puff. Hello ladies, what's been going on? Well, after yesterday's blooming rain and its tits off, it's turned out a gorgeous day here today, so it's awesome. I think my cameraman was going home if it rained another day, so hopefully, I don't actually even have to say hopefully because it's not going to rain tonight, because that was a little hectic. I think last night not happy came to mind. Tell you what, if you happen to like some crazy ass footage, you should see a photo of me with my Botox bee lip. That was rather funny. Click onto the Patreon support page and check out my photo. So we'll just take this one out because this is all old frames. So we took the frames from here into this box. So these are the old frames that we took when we put our new queen in this little cage. This little idea worked a treat. It's made a little bit of extra netting, so to save them getting stung through the cage. We didn't have any bees dead in the cage, so that was good. I've had that happen before. That was a win. But we'll just pop out the fresh frame. They haven't gone across there yet, but they're building in here quite nicely, and we'll just see how the new queen's getting on. So they're just starting to draw that out. Only just though, so they've still got plenty of room in here. That would have been why this one didn't actually get a super. We'll just slide this one across, pick it up and see what she looks like. Have a look at that, that looks pretty good. And that's the other side that they're sort of working on. Well, we'll see how many frames we've got. So we've got that half a frame looking pretty good. I was just thinking, I find it interesting, everybody seems to hit me up and say, God grief, how do those blokes get on in their bee yard in their t-shirt and a blooming, I don't know, a bandana and nothing else, and they're running around in their yard? I have a sneaky suspicion it's something like this, because these girls, when we put these new queens in here, were absolutely off their chops and you couldn't get near them, never mind without a bee suit on. And now they're just walking around here. They don't even give a toss that I'm here. I think it might have something to do with the boss that's actually in charge of those beehives that are getting looked at. So if you don't think a queen's worth 30 bucks, I reckon it is. So she's a bit spotty this side. But then they've all just hatched out, so then she's coming around again. All right, she's laying there and she's laying there. We've got some young eggs and some younger grubs, so that's looking good. So that's one whole frame pretty much coming up. That's a bit better, solid pattern. Nice, a solid breeding pattern there, laying pattern. Looks much better. Maybe I'll just give them one little puff. You don't want to get too carried away puffing them if they're friendly anyway, because they only just makes them eat more honey. Oh, here's the boss. You want to see the boss? Here she is. All the way from New South Wales. She was living on my kitchen table for quite a while, so I think she's very happy to be in here with her workmates. Doing a bloody good job, she is. She's not the biggest queen I've ever seen, but she's nice and happy, nice and relaxed. Good little Italian queen. I reckon they seem to work quite good down here in Oz. Of course, there's plenty of breeds to pick from, but I like the Italians and the Carnolis. If I pronunciate that properly, I'm not sure. But anyway, even if I've got my pronunciation wrong, I know what I mean. But there are a couple of good breeds for down here. Of course, you've plenty others to pick from. But it just makes them so much more chilled out to have a good boss. Anyway, that was a smaller split, so they're taking a little while to come up. But they're looking like they're doing all right. they got food coming in, they got babies being fed, and they're expanding, and she looks happy. And that's about enough in there for the minute. We're just going to nick over here and have a look at our new plus boxes. We're just having a bit of a conflab here behind the scenes. I think in the last episode, I think I called these new plus boxes. I think I called them knee plus boxes. But a knee plus happens to actually be an old tree almond variety that we used to have as a pollinator many a moon ago. But although we still have got some knee pluses out there. But anyway, I think they're meant to be new plus, but I don't know for sure. This is another really cool thing about these new plus boxes. Not only they're fucking easy to put together and they look like they're pretty weatherproof, you can integrate them because they needed a couple of supers and we didn't have any new plus boxes with us, so we actually thought we'll transfer them out of there when we actually get because we want to do a bit of a proper cross comparison. But you get those, some of the other ones, I don't know, what are those, a lot of those foam ones and bits and pieces like that, they're just, you got to have them and that's all you can have. You can't just mix and match like this. So perhaps if you want to, I'm thinking if you wanted to transition from your wood to the plastics, at least you're not going to be able to have to throw all the wood out and start fresh. We'll just poke our head in one of these boxes over here without a super and see how those girls are getting on. We'll just have a poke our head in here on the way out the door. Oh! What do you reckon, girls? Are you being good? Looks like they're being good. Hello! What are we doing, girls? Oh, they're moving across a bit. Give them a little puff. Have a bit of a peekaboo at what these girls are doing. Can you see? I feel a good mood arising, or a good bee box arising, good beehive arising. That's all nice new comb there. They've drawn it out and laid it up. That's a good sign. Look at that. That'll make you smile if you're a beekeeper. So I was just looking at that and I was thinking now, that's why you need to change up your frames in your brood box. So you want to actually get your older frames out and at least give them a couple of, well, obviously it depends how old your beehive is. But once your beehive gets a bit old, say 5 years in, you want to start changing your frames in your brood box so you can actually get them to build up. The queen just loves it when the ladies make her some new comb to lay in, and look at that, that's beautiful, nice. Gets rid of some of the old chalk and diseases and crap that's in your old frames, so don't be afraid to change it up, but don't do stupid shit and put the new frames right in the middle of the laying pattern when you've got a brood box if they're suffering a bit. But if you've got plenty of bees, it's a good idea. I'll just pull out an old frame that we actually made the split with. You can see that she's preferencing the outside edge, which was probably where the honey was. And so she's actually, the girls have drawn out some new comb and she's laid the whole thing solid. If the queen's got a choice, she'll lay in the new patch. She's got some nice laying pattern here, which is good. And also another thing to remember, if the actual comb gets too old, every bee that hatches just makes it slightly smaller. So eventually the bees get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Probably not so small as that they disappear, but anyway, you get the general idea. So don't be afraid when you're in your brood box and you're doing your inspection and you think it all looks a bit bloomin' congested, or just put them up in your soup, put the old brood frame in your super box, put your new frames in your brood box, and you just rotate them out. So you want to do, say, 2 a year and keep 2 new ones every year until eventually you've got a bit of a pattern going on over the bloomin', well, if you've got a 10 frame box, if you go and buy 2, so over a 5-year period, you're changing 2 every year, and you just get into a nice pattern of getting some new ones. And the other cool thing about that is, you can go, take it home, take the honey out of it, but also remember which ones they are, and you keep that brood wax separate from your other cappings wax, and it's really quite good because it's got a lot more of the medicinal enzymes in it, so keeps your lips nice. Talking about wax and lip gloss and all the other cool shit that we've got on our website, we finally got the new honey varieties up there. So skip over to the website, check out some of the new flavours that we've got on. We've got some flavours of the southeast at the minute. We've got some red gum and a little bit of, that's crossed over with some tea tree, strawberry clover and thistles, which is that's kind of cool. And then we've got some straight up red gum. And what was the other thing we had there? I don't know. Go to the website, check it out, check out the new labels. Tell the lad that it was cool. And the new jars, we've got better jars now, so we've got them in the nice sealed lids because we're having a little bit of fun as they fly around the planet trying to keep them all cool. So we've got them in a nice thing, got a nice plastic screw top lid, new labels, new flavours. Look out! She's coming up nice, she's laying up well. There's a nice pattern in that one too. I don't know, but I think they look pretty happy in my plastic box. They look pretty good to me. Well, there you go. The birds are singing, the bees are buzzing, life's going good. These ladies are coming up beautiful. So I reckon it was well worth our excitement the other. I tell you what, look out, I might become a professional beekeeper yet.